Brazil, the first country to criminalize parental alienation syndrome. In the wake of the Sean Goldman case, Brazil has criminalized parental alienation syndrome. As reported by the United States Library of Congress, Brazil is the first country to make parental alienation a civil and criminal offense. Sean Goldman was born in the year 2000 in the United States to an American father and Brazilian mother. In 2004, at 4 years of age, Sean went to Brazil with his mother for a 2-week vacation. However, his mother refused to return to the United States. The father, David Goldman, vowed to have his son back, and lawsuits and countersuits ensued both in the United States and in Brazil. The mother, Bruna Bianchi, eventually filed for and was granted a divorce by a Brazilian court. She married a Brazilian lawyer in 2007, but subsequently died while giving birth to their child in 2008. After Bruna's death, the Brazilian husband obtained custody for the child from the Brazilian courts by failing to inform them of Bruna's death and requesting a new Brazilian birth certificate that listed himself as the father under the Brazilian concept of socio-affective paternity, on the basis of which he refused then to return the boy to David Goldman, Sean's father. Based on a decision of Brazil's Supreme Court, Sean was handed over to his father on December 24, 2009. Hoping to regain custody, Sean's Brazilian grandmother vowed to continue the battle through the Brazilian courts. In New Jersey, where David Goldman now resides with his son Sean, courts denied visitation rights for the Brazilian grandparents. In the wake of the Sean Goldman episode, Brazil approved a law that criminalized parental alienation on August 26, 2010. The law defines an act of parental alienation as the interference in a child's psychological training promoted or induced by either parent to reject one of the parents, or that hampers building or maintaining bonds with them. The law provides examples of parental alienation, including but not limited to waging campaigns of disparagement of a parent's behavior, hindering the exercise of parental authority, and limiting contact between the child and the other parent, making the right to have a close family life with the child difficult, deliberately omitting relevant personal information about the child, including educational, medical, and change of address data from the other parent, submitting false complaints against a parent, family members, or the grandparents, and preventing them from having a relationship with the child or adolescent, moving to a remote site with no explanation in order to hamper the relationship between the child and the other parent or with the grandparents or other relatives. Once an act of parental alienation is established, a judge may warn the alienator, expand family life in favor of the alienated parent, fine the alienator, order counseling, change custody, or determine the setting of an interim residence for the child. The law declares that allegations of parental alienation are to be considered priorities by courts, and that expedited procedures are to be accorded to deal with them. The judge will appoint mental health experts to evaluate the allegations, and if parental alienation is found to exist, may assess either criminal or civil penalties, including changing custody and terminating the parental rights of the alienating parent. Judges are further instructed that preference in custody is to be given to the parent who facilitates the child's relationship with the other parent. An extremely beneficial effect of Brazil's law is that the more courts take cognizance of parental alienation, the more they require not only that parents refrain from alienation, but that they also facilitate the relationship of the child with the other parent. Recognition of parental alienation by courts will result in the requirement that the custodial parent promote the non-custodial parent's relationship with the child, provided, of course, that no actual abuse by the non-custodial parent has taken place. The recognition of parental alienation syndrome is moving forward, both legally and clinically. Groups opposed to parental alienation syndrome have taken to calling parental alienation discredited because the American Psychiatric Association, which publishes the official diagnostic manual, does not actually recognize parental alienation syndrome as a clinical entity. However, the American Psychiatric Association has in no way discredited parental alienation syndrome. The accurate statement would be that it has not yet accredited, that is, officially recognized it in the diagnostic manual. It took approximately 90 years for Dr. Georges Gilles de la Tourette's description before Tourette syndrome had an official diagnosis. It took about 40 years for Dr. Asperger's description to be recognized as the basis for the diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome. While the diagnostic manual, currently the DSM-5, does not use the term parental alienation syndrome, it now includes several categories related to parental alienation syndrome. For example, parent-child relational problem. The description of this condition specifically states that it may include hostility toward or scapegoating of the other and unwarranted feelings of estrangement. Is that not a description of a child alienated from a parent? Now don't go away. You can see a preview of my entire playlist. Click here, and after clicking here, you will be taken to my channel where you may select the playlist either for this channel or for any of my other playlists of possible interest to you. I hope to see you on YouTube. Bye.